got in the 91, Alfred Renard got out, Jürgen Haring got in, Klaus Bachler stayed in the 93, threatening clouds over the pit lane now, and the wind getting up as well, which is normally always the portent of a storm. You can see the flags beginning to pick up, blown around a bit. So now it's going to be all about how long it is. I think it's going to be when rather than if the rain hits the circuit. Damp but not wet. A few spots of rain, but not enough to think about Hankook slick tyres yet. On board with the 707 heading into that area of the track. Let's see if we can glean any further information. It's very dark at Variante della Roggia, turns 4 and 5, but the track doesn't look shiny and wet just yet. 226 back out of the pits for the Ligier GS2R. Going down the back, straight behind the pits, the sound of the V10. Really hear the wind getting up on our effects mics now. And also a few leaves being blown around. And not just the leaves being blown around either. One of the marshal's posts has lost its cover. One of the umbrellas down towards turn 11, the parabolica, just getting blown away. Thoughts go immediately to our camera operators and the marshals, of course. And wipers on now. Wipers on the run down to Ascari from the 979 Porsche. That's the second place speed lover car. Eric Muez behind the wheel of that 13th position overall. So feels the need to have the wipers on. But everybody remember, he's still on slicks here. Here's the drama. And this is where the good drivers have the chance to shine. Feeling for grip. Hot slick tyres at the moment, but hot slick tyres nevertheless, should I say. A few cars still not with full headlights on. I expect they'll be going on shortly. Even a wipe from the 211 coming into the first corner. That's Dario Stanco, second TCX. And the track does look wet now through Curva Grande. I can see the reflection of the lights on the dark coloured tarmac. Oh yeah, definitely. Jürgen Haring rather tiptoeing out of the Variante della Roggia, the second chicane, if you will. And it's almost like it's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It's got really dark really quickly. Proper rain on the far side of the circuit being dealt with by our leader in TCR, Pepe Oriola. Now into the pits, second place car into the pits, Jürgen Haring. This must be for treaded tyres because they only stopped a handful of laps ago. Off come the slicks. Let's have a look at the tyres. It's all four, and I think that looked to me like they were treaded tyres. And that car was only in 5 laps ago. Check that, 7 laps ago. Well, now this is real danger time. Spray now, spray coming up from the cars. So I expect a flurry of cars into the pits. GR Motorsport, second in TCX, is in. Wochenspiegel back into the pits. Car Collection have come in. ERC Bratislava have come in. And it's pouring. Absolutely tipping down. And the leader tiptoeing around the first chicane on slick tyres. It's Robert Renard. What's the lap times doing? 2:05 last time around for Renard. And I'm surprised he can see anything, because even with the wipers on the far side of the circuit, Pepe Oriola barely able to see anything as he heads to Ascari. How does he pick his braking point? He's on slick tyres. 2:08 for Pepe last time around. So interestingly, the front-wheel drive touring cars not losing as many seconds, and therefore percentage-wise losing far less in lap time than the GT3s that are still on slicks. But it is, I absolutely, it is wet weather tyres now. There's no doubt. Renault has got to come in from the lead. They're really pushing their luck. Backler is in, topping up with fuel. Remember, a lot of these guys came in under the code 60, so would have only got half a tank of fuel. Now it's green. You might as well brim fill the car, stick a set of slicks or stick a set of treaded tyres on, and get a driver in there who's got plenty of drive time left, because you don't want to butt up against the 2 hour mark. Lap times will be slower, fuel usage will be less, and you will get a huge amount of fuel in here. MP are out from 4th position. Giorgio Serna Giotto back in that car, but 10 laps off the lead. You can barely see the far end of the straight. 122 is in. Oriola's had to come in as well for fuel, and he's having to sit and wait. I don't think he's on a fuel pump at the moment, so he's going to lose the lead here. Although in fairness, probably not, because everybody behind him came in for fuel but not for tyres, so they can come in for tyres. Let's wait to see who else is coming in. Still no sign of Robert Renard. He's gone round again. 2:05, and in comes Renard. This time joins the queue for fuel. Actually, Renard might not need fuel. He might go straight into the pits. Yes, he has. Renard hasn't queued at the fuel stop. He was only in some 8 laps ago, so he's gone for tyres. That's really smart. Get fuel if there's a pump. If there isn't, come straight in for a set of treaded tyres. Now, where is Jürgen Herring? Because he's already got the tyres on. It looks tricky out there, even with wet weather tyres on. Car collection in as well from 6th position for a set of wet weather Hankooks. My goodness, what a turnaround in the space of 15 minutes. A few drops of rain coming in from Lesmo too. And now a deluge coming in from the north and east of the circuit. And code 60. Code 60 has been called. And I think this must be for track conditions. I'll check to make sure there's not anybody off the circuit at the moment. Oh, the 122's got a 60-second time penalty, overtaking a car during code 60. That's massive. That was issued about 15 minutes ago, so they may have been soaking that up. So that'll be 2 minutes they'll be standing still before they can be serviced. Let me check the 122. Well, that's in the pits now for Pepe. So they've still got that hanging over them. Code 60, you can take your penalties, but they are doubled in time terms. And I think that code 60 coming out has just saved Robin Renard. I think Robert Renard has been saved from losing the lead there by the code 60, because Jürgen Herring wasn't up to pace and couldn't come round. Now, we have lightning in the area, and that means that non-essential personnel will have to clear exposed areas, and that includes our camera operators. We'll take no risks with any of the personnel here, whether it's COVID-19 or Mother Nature that is providing us with the problems. We've still got pictures for you, and I'll keep an eye on what's going on the timing screen, but we're under code 60 at the moment. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What have we gone through this year in motor racing terms. This is like Dubai all over again. It is tipping down at Monza. And this is in for a while. Definitely coming in for a while. Well, the radar that I'm seeing has it coming in from the north and west, but it certainly hit the northeast corner of the circuit first. As Lesmo might have just been getting the edge of the cell as it was going across, but now it's the whole circuit. And if you listen carefully to our outside cameras, you can hear the rain falling. Just waiting to see what the gap between first and second is, albeit under code 60 for the weather. Rain on the whole track and lights on are the last two messages. Absolutely unbelievable conditions. We were in bright sunshine not half an hour ago, and now at 2:30 or thereabouts local time, down at Ascari, I think Noah is building an ark at that point. The problem, of course, is the standing water. These cars don't run quite as low as a single-seater. Thank goodness we didn't have this in Formula Renault this morning. But even so, they run pretty close to the ground, and you get the issue with the GT3 cars in particular, where the underbody is effectively surfing bow wave, and then your wheels aren't on the ground. Ironically, the slower you go sometimes, the worse that is. Wind has really picked up, as you can hear from our effects mics around the circuit. Reminder, we've asked our camera operators to leave their posts because of the risk of lightning in the area. But we'll keep an eye on conditions such as we can from the onboards and the fixed cameras. Can't even tell you where that camera was. I think that was Ascari. Looking back from the Rettifilio, I can't even see the turning point, never mind the start-finish line. That is extraordinary. Visibility down to zero. We might get a red flag here, just trailing this ahead. We might get a red flag and bring these cars into the pit lane to get covered in Parc Fermé conditions. I don't think they'd want to leave them out on the start-finish line. It is absolutely teeming. And the wind is howling across the track at the moment, blowing right into the face of our camera at Ascari. This is literally Dubai all over again. It's more windy here than it was in Dubai. There's the same amount of water. I think the wind is making this worse. And we're getting hailstones now. Hailstones and lightning. All we need now is a plague of locusts or frogs, and we will have had the full set in 2020. The wind is certainly howling around. I think this is worse than Dubai. I really do. The amount of water is probably the same that's falling, but the wind is whipping it up. And this thunderstorm is bringing hail. You can hear it clattering down. I don't know how anybody is driving around this track at the moment. You'd be struggling in a road car with full wipers and D-mist and everything else on. A lot of race cars don't have that. They'll be getting wet inside as well because they're not designed to have all the water being thrown up underneath them. Waves of water being blown back into the face of the cars coming down the start-finish line. And listen carefully, that rattling is hail on the effects mics. We cannot be far away from a code 60 here with just on 4.5 hours to go. Rain lights are on, but even then it's difficult to see. The cars have started to sort of pile up around the circuit. Pepe Oriola is behind the GS Ligier, the GS2R Ligier, but it's only when he gets within a couple of cars lengths that I could even tell you what that car was there. Renault leads in very trying and testing conditions. 101 Red Camel on the track at the moment is behind another car so closely that I actually can't see what the car is. There's a little group of cars going down the back straight that's headed by the number 39, 339 rather, the BMW that's leading its class. That's the blue car. They're heading into the where are they heading into? They're heading into the Parabolica at the moment, and that is the line of cars that Pepe Oriola is at the back of. And I reckon there's 3 or 4 cars there, but you wouldn't know that. On the front straight, and who's in the pits? There's quite a few people pitting again. Bratislava's pitted. 978 speed lover from the lead of the 991 class is in. Gavin Pickering behind the wheel. So on the front straight, coming down to the camera that we've locked off at Rettifilio, is the number 58 MP Racing. Now that's a bright green car, and I can't see that at all in the gloom. All kinds of detritus and leaf debris being blown across the circuit. Behind the 58 there is a couple of cars, including the 101 Red Camel Jordan.nl, going into Rettifilio at the moment. But you wouldn't know it. Ascari in the gloom out there somewhere. If we stay on that camera for the moment, at the Ascari area, Herbert Motorsport and Alfred Renault should be coming into sight under the Brembo Bridge any second now. And again, all you can see are the headlights, and all you can hear is the rain and hail hitting the top of the roof. The headlights that I can see coming into Ascari, I know from the tracker, is a couple of Herbert cars. I think the 92 and the 93 are in the area, and finally a red flag. Here comes the 92 through the gloom. Fabi, can you show us that other shot that we had all of the leaves blowing across from that other camera? That was the Lesmo camera, I think it was. So I think that's probably camera 3. Go to Italy, they say. Look at the water sprayed up on the 92 Porsche as he's gone through a puddle there and wiping the windscreen with the back of his glove. That is Alfred Renault with a bow wave on the right-hand side. Come to Italy in July, they said. The weather's lovely, they said. Well, unbelievable conditions. And we've got a tree on the track. It's been blown onto the track underneath the old banking. Just beyond that, a sizable branch. Hopefully the guys will see that. I think they have. Visibility down to 0. And the red flag is out. The safety car is out as well, although we haven't seen it. One of the Jaguars has come out and has picked up the leader. And I think we've got a car stopped right next to the branch. Now, I think that's the 175 car. I'm absolutely guessing, but that looks like a yellow Seat to me, a Leo Cooper, excuse me. And I think he stopped there to draw. I think he's drawing the attention of the marshals to that particular tree. Now we've lost our connection